Hello student. Today's our topic is multiple catch statements for exception handling and how to throw our own exception. That means how to create user defined exception. So note is already available in Google Classroom, referred 17/4/2020, and we had a very good interaction session, more than 1 hour long, in WhatsApp interaction session. I know that, I believe that these interactions are equally important as class, because through this interaction I will able to understand what and how much you have able to grab the knowledge. Still, these are the digital periods, so I am coming through this lecture, video lecture. So now, coming into the topic, a try block that we have already used, discussed in our last lecture, can be followed by multiple catch block. In last video lecture we have seen that try block is used to as a creator of the exception object, exceptional object, and catch block is used to handle that exception. So there was only one catch block. Now today we have to know what is the utility of multiple catch block. If we have to perform different tasks at the occurrence of different exceptions, then we can use multiple catch blocks. So what is the importance of multiple catch block? Different tasks at the occurrence of different exception, then we have to deal with multiple catch blocks. Okay. It is an useful technique, very useful techniques. Rules of multiple catch blocks: how a try block can have multiple catch block. It is possible, but in a try block at a time only one exception is generated. So in the try, we know that will be used as exception and object creator, but at a time there will be one type of exception will be generated. Only one catch block is executed at a time. Although there are multiple catch blocks, but at a time only one catch block will be effective. These must be ordered from most specific to most general. So most specifics mean that we have to place these catch blocks as appropriate to as general. So as the discussion will go on, you will able to understand this thing. Note, it is like switch case type that we have already used in our programming. Now finally is a keyword, very important thing. The finally block can be used to make it much more secured. This, as we know, that exception handler or exception in Java is used to make the program much more secure and robust. So finally has been added to make it much more powerful, much more secured. It may be added immediately after the try block or after the last catch block. It is something like the default keyword in switch case. Okay, now we are going to explain with a suitable example. ex.java, as because main method has been contained in class ex, public static void main. Within that, an integer array has been declared with the size 2, 5 and 10, and the elements of that array, and the variable b has been initialized with 5. Now within the try, that means we want to generate exception object. We are trying to find out the value of x, that is a2, which is not at all within the array. Array starts with 0 and ends with 1, divided by b minus a1. So a1 means that is 10, b equals to 5. Fine, b equals to 5, and a1 equals to 10. There is no problem here, but problem lies here because array starts with 0 index and with 1 index. So this will be the logical error, and now there is no syntactical error. Now catch block has been placed. First catch block that will catch it with arithmetic exception. You know that arithmetic exception is already available in Java inbuilt class, and E is the object reference. So here see the nomenclature: name, identifier, class identifier name, arithmetic, a capital, exception, e capital, like chart table. Okay, now system.out.println, we will print division by 0. It is not actually occurred. Next one is catch arithmetic index, array index out of bounds exception. So a capital, I capital, B capital, and E capital. Okay, so if you don't follow these, then there will be error, syntactical error. Okay, and here we are receiving with E object, and we are printing through system.out.println array index error. Okay, now it is array index error is the most specific things. Now the third catch block has been designed for array store exception. There E is the object reference. SOP here wrong data type. It is not that integer, perfect integer we are using, so array store exception will not occur here. Finally is the block that has been written here. Finally, what is mentioned? SOP I am finally to make more safe. The SOP system.out.println that will be executed. Then another instruction is I will execute at last, that will execute at last here. And now after that we are proceeding to another code, that is we are trying to find out the value of y equals to a1 divided by a0. Fine, there are two elements, a1 means 10 divided by 5, it will be 2 here, and we are going to print the value of y. Fine, so now what will be the output and why it is coming like that? Here array index error will occur. This is array index error because this index is not available. So try will create the exception object, and it will be cached here, and this output will come. After that, fine, the program will be proceed. There will be no abrupt termination and of the system. Finally block will print I am finally to make more safe, and I will execute at last. It will print, and then the value of y will be printed as 2 uninterruptedly. What is the note? Array index a2 does not exist in this in here outside the array boundary, so causing exception. Catch array index out of bound exception, and that will receive that exception object on E. Finally block E is guaranteed to execute. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you now. Now how to deal with finally, I am coming with another example here. Class example f exf that is that contain main method, public static void main, try is there. Try is will use for the exception object creator. Here we are trying to find out the value of n, but we can very easily see that it is division by 0 error, logical error, and we try to find the value of n. Okay, now try will throw try from the try the object reference will be, if it is appropriate, then it will be catched in the catch block. Null pointer exception, this is not appropriate. So finally, what finally will help us, SOP system.out.println, the finally block executed, it will be execute and SOP finished. So after this tie catch and finally block, there is another instruction finish. Let's see whether it is going to be executed or not. What do you think? This will not be executed because there is not a specific or appropriate catch, so exception will not be handled properly. So what will be the output? The finally block execute. Yes, this will execute the finally block executed, and exception in thread main in a main thread main program. So this is only one thread here. Exception in main thread, that will be on the console in form of unchecked exception, and it will say the exception in main thread java.lang.arithmetic exception. Yes, this is the part of arithmetic exception, exception by 0, and it will print at exf. This is the name of the file, and main exf.java line number. So 5 will be the line number. That is the detailed information by the compiler Java runtime environment. Sorry, not the compiler, by the Java runtime environment will be produced on the console. Note, what is the note? Here arithmetic exception occurred which is not handled by the program that I have mentioned already, but finally executed as block. Program does not handle exception. It stops the normal flow. SOP finish will not be executed. That has been already clear to you. So this is the use of finally. Okay, now finally can be used any if there is no exception, then also finally block can be written. It will execute. Here no proper exception handler, so finally has been used. So if there is a proper exception and handler, then also finally block will be executed. Now I hope it is clear, and if you implement, you have already implemented in your practical classes, so that concept is easier to grab. Now how we are going to create our own exception? So here class name is my exception, extends exception. We know that exception in inbuilt class in Java. From there on we are extending, that means we are overriding that class. Here there is a constructor. It is taking string as message, super, that means we are overriding or we are overriding the exception class constructor. Now class test is containing the main method. Here there are two variables x and y in form of 5 and 1000. Now try block, what is going to do? It is going to create the exceptional object. Float is the value, z equals to float x divided by float y. Very good. It auto boxing. Now if the value of z is less than equals to 0.01, which is actually less, then we will throw an exception in form of the object of this class, my exception class, with the help of new. My exception is the name of the constructor. Number is too small, that will be thrown from here. Okay, now it will be catched by catch block. Here my exception is the name of the user defined exception class, and E is the object reference. What is going to print? SOP caught my exception, exception will be caught. SOP e dot get message. Yes, e dot get message is already available in form of a very useful function. Through that this object reference or this object we will able to print, and the message which will be thrown by the constructor. So number is too small will be printed by this. Now finally is there SOP I am always here, that will be printed, and the program will be terminated. Now what will be the output? Let's see. Caught my exception, caught my exception. This is for this exception handler. Within the catch block we have specified, and where from this is coming? Number is too small. Number is too small is coming from here. This message what we have written in form of a constructor within for our class my exception, okay, that has been printed. Now I am always here by the virtue of the finally block. So now what are the most important notable point here? My exception, we know that is the inbuilt class. Important to understand what is that. Note throw keyword is used to throw our own exception. Yes, first time we have created our own exception. The throw keyword will be used to throw that object. Here my exception is extended class from the exception, extended class from the inbuilt exception class. My exception is the my exception is the class that we have created from this exception inbuilt class. Is subclass or throwable. Yes, we know that throwable is the inbuilt class. In our previous video lecture we have discussed. Now an object of class that extend throwable can be thrown and caught. We have already demonstrated this thing. Now the object E contains the error message. Object is contain the error message. Number is too small. Yes, we have already understood this. Is caught by the catch block. The display then display the message using get message method. Finally block is there to produce I am always here. So I hope you have understood how to create your own exceptional object by this. So try to implement in the program. Thank you.